All right, I'm here with head track and field coach Craig Perry, throws coach Robert Wood, and jump and sprints Aaron Reeves. How you guys doing today?
Doing well.
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys for coming out. We're 4 meets into it. University of Arkansas invite, Missouri Southern invite, University of Oklahoma Open, and the Pittsburgh State invite. Tell us a little bit about your teams, your guys, or women, or.
Oh, I think we started off a little slow at Arkansas. Looked a little bit of deer in the headlights. You know, freshmen. We have a lot of freshmen. We have over 60 freshmen this year. So going to that first meet at Arkansas, we looked young. We looked a little bit timid. But I think we've got it together since then. Last couple of meets, we're starting to look like ourselves and coming around. We're highly ranked right now in both the men's and women's programs, and I think we're getting better every week.
Well, yeah. I mean, as we record this, we're number 3 for the men in NJCAA and number 8 in the women. We get a lot of Twitter feeds from you, Coach Wood. Kind of take us through, like from your perspective of how you guys have done, and everyone chime in.
Again, like Coach said, we're very young. I've got 18 throwers. 2 of them are sophomores. Both were national qualifiers. One was an All-American last year. So my whole women's crew is freshmen, all 9 of them. So like Coach said, we took them to the deer in the headlights look, and I actually brought them over and said, I'm throwing you to the wolves,
Right.
Just welcome to college track, just more than anything, just everything we've been preaching from day one is about today. And a lot of them, some competed very, very well. Some of them, it was a learning experience for them, so.
Having all those freshmen, though, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, there's a lot of energy, a lot of laughs. I mean, you're at the meets, and there's a new energy this year. I've said that, at these meets, it's probably the most fun I've had in the last several years, just because there is so much excitement. People really want to get out there and do events.
Right.
It's been a fun year so far, for sure.
How has the lack of experience, per se, translated? I mean, you guys obviously are having success, but how is it translated in other areas?
There's some instances where a kid will overthink their event a little bit, especially on the younger end of things. They want to jump far, so they're trying to go out there and force it to jump far or run fast, and they're just kind of overthinking the process when it's really a lot more simple than what they're making it out to be. I've noticed that especially in my male jumps group. They're all freshmen, every single one of them. They're really talented. It's probably one of the most talented bunches we've ever had here for jumps.
One of the most talented bunches in the country.
Yeah, really.
Honestly.
Obviously.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the top freshman signing classes in the country at any level. It's just overthink the runway, and just not. They'll come together. They just got to be patient. And triple jump has gone very well so far this year. We're ranked on the men's side number 1, 3, and 4, I believe, and on the women's side, number 4 and number 6.
And those are all freshmen except for
Katrina Small. Yeah,
right.
All those guys are freshmen, and they're among some of the most talented triple jumpers in the country.
We had a school record that stood for
10 years.
About 10 years. My first year, we broke it, and we hadn't broke it since. And then it got broke 2 weeks in a row. Brian Pittman broke it, and then a week later, Dodley Thurman has broke it. So it was pretty fun to see these 2 guys are going to go back and forth. They're freshmen, so we're going to see them go back and forth for the next 2 years at this school record.
They compete a lot against each other.
They want that record. They want to beat each other.
Yeah, when Brian broke the record, Dodley actually wasn't competing that weekend, and he was so frustrated with us because he saw the record get broke, and he wasn't even out there to.
He was standing there watching.
He's standing there watching it. So the next week he comes out and he breaks the record, and we're excited to see what those 2 guys, all 3 of those guys, do, because Darius Clark can also break that record at any moment. So it's pretty fun to watch.
They're all very, very talented. So
now, a lot of times with young guys, I mean, definitely on the men's side, and I'm sure the women's side as well, you get that competition level, and as you get older. I don't think it goes away because I think we're all still pretty competitive in this room. But, the sophomores, they've already done it and everything. But you have a lot of freshmen that are competing day in and day out. How does that change your coaching style? How does that breathe energy into you guys?
I think it's something we preach. From day one, we tell people, the way that we look at the sport is it's an individual sport with a team outcome. And so if everybody does their job, then we'll get the team score, know? And so having our team compete against each other is very good for us, because if they're racing each other, they're competing against each other in the jumps, and they're getting better, that's improving us. That our team score will end up being better at the region national level too.
Well, you talk about the difference of it's an individual sport with a team outcome. How is that different from, let's say, baseball or basketball, where it's a team game and you have to be individual at the same time?
the sport is so different in that you have different event groups, like Coach Wood with the throws. I mean, I don't see him during the regular season hardly at all. We're just in completely different areas. We have very different body types. I mean, we'll have girls on the team and guys on the team that are, wear extra small clothing. We have guys that wear XXX clothing, so it's, you have varying different athletes. So it's a sport that has, a lot of randomness to it because of that.
Right.
So you have different coaches coaching different area events, but at the end there is a team score. There is a goal that we're all trying to come to.
Right.
But if they all do their jobs, if everyone does what they're supposed to do, then and I think that is where it's similar to other team sports, is that you're still trying to get everyone to do their job. But we don't work in such a cohesive way. You're more working at an individual way. What you can focus to get better on your event, and if you get better, then we're better.
How can you guys get together as a team? Because I mean, we're always running into each other in the practice facility. The throws and baseball team. You guys are always separate, right? Now, how can you bring the three entities together as a team? Like, how is there unity with as much separation?
A lot of that falls on the athletes themselves, and they get. It's tough to push the team stuff in track, I would say. But whenever we get to, we're riding the bus together, we're at these track meets together. Our team, especially this year, seems to really like each other. We'll have. I know we have jumpers that will ride with the throwers on the vans and hang out with the throwers, and so a lot of that camaraderie exists through the dorms and through the travel and hanging out at the meets, I think, more than anything.
Okay. Kind of want to get to you, Coach Wood. You have two athletes, I should say. Miles Hoffer. Miles
Marhofer.
Marhofer, excuse me, sorry. This past weekend at Pitt State, 15.03 meters on the shot put. National qualifying distance and everything like that.
Yeah.
Kind of talk to us about him.
Miles
He's a big dude, by the way.
Well, actually, he walked on here. He walked on and earned a scholarship after first semester, and he's got so much upside, it's scary. I had a coach the other day go, what do you think about him? I said, I don't know if he's Johnny Jackson yet, but he's starting to get there. And, Johnny holds the national junior college record in the weight. First junior college athlete to ever throw over 20 meters. So Miles has that horsepower, and it's like in track, you can't coach horsepower. Either the kid has or he doesn't. He's got to be wired a certain way, and Miles is. Miles is going to be a big time Division I athlete out here. I honestly believe that. He'll probably watch this and question me on it now, but Miles is got a chance to be a big time kid. He's a great kid. Works hard in the classroom. 3.8 GPA first semester. He does things right.
Right.
I've had a lot of conversations with Miles. They talk about that travel. He tends to ride with Coach Reeves and I a lot, and he has that obsession that great athletes have. That I mean, he'll talk to you over and over and over about the same stuff just because he's obsessed with being good. And
right.
Those kind of athletes don't usually fail. A guy that's he was under recruited probably in high school and comes to us and is he's going to be overly recruited probably whenever he leaves because he's going to be he, like Coach Wood said, he's a fantastic athlete, but he also has that factor that you can't really teach. Like he wants to be great.
He has the mental edge a lot of kids don't have.
Right. Michael Jordan gene, we'll say.
Yeah. You actually have to stop him from working out. Chase Dennis, one of our sophomores, same thing, All-American last year. I have to stop him from working out because I don't want him breaking down the muscle fiber and stuff where he never.
And it's actually, it seems like to be a trait and a trend on our team. I think we have great sophomore leadership this year. Jermaine Holt, one of our best guys in the country, is probably the best lead by example guy you can have. Someone that's ranked number 2 in junior college right now in the 400. He's ran 47.1. He's broke our school record. But Jermaine will also outwork every single person. He won't let you beat him, you know, and to have that, it kind of trickles down, and not just with his event group. Everybody sees the way that Jermaine takes care of his business, and Jermaine's not just good just because he's talented. Jermaine, when he first started track in high school, wasn't very good. He'll tell you that, and he's turned himself into something because of that hard work, and he has that gene, and I think it's really rubbed off on a lot of our athletes.
I mean, we have leaders like that, and they're actually producing. I mean, that trickles down for the whole team, men and women.
It holds everybody accountable.
Right.
I mean, it really does. I mean, when at any moment, us as coaches can point to a Chase Dennis, a Jermaine Holt, a Katrina Small, a Kamani Evans. Kamani's been injured this year, but Kamani's one of the fastest sprinters in the country. And these kind of athletes, they work hard every day, and They go to the athletic training room. They go to class. They do all the things you'd want athletes to do. And it's easy to point at them and say, why you're not doing something. Look at Jermaine. Look at Kamani. Look at Katrina. Look at what they're doing.
Right.
Those are the people to follow.
And the other thrower that I wanted to bring up is Brooklyn Wilson. Again, at Pitt State, 12.64 meters on the shot put. Kind of break her down a little bit.
Brooklyn was placed here. You know, Brooklyn's one of those kids. Again, she has that gene. She's that. She reminds me a lot of Taylor Green, who was an All-American here, national record holder in the hammer. Brooklyn's got a chance to be that type of athlete. She was placed here. She's one of those kids that was the big-time kid out of high school and had to come to junior college. Great kid, works hard, fun to be around, always laughing, joking, and enjoys it. You know, she's one of those kids that is going to be very successful in life, let alone athletics. It's
Right.
because she's bought into the system. The kids that buy into the process here, whether it's baseball, basketball, are successful.
Right.
Track, they're successful if they buy in.
Right.
Brooklyn is a phenomenal athlete. I mean, watching her from afar, we lifted with them all fall, so I got to be around them and watch their group. Their throwers group in general is just was really athletic and fun. They're fun to be around. But Brooklyn is, she looks like the kind of person you could put, on a basketball court, on the softball field, and she would fit in anywhere. She's a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah.
It's great to have that problem, I guess, is what we want to call it. Just great athletes all the way around that work hard.
Right.
I'd rather have to stop a kid, like you guys were saying, than have to prod them and, hey, we need to get to work. We need to get to work. So.
And that's our team this year for the most part. I mean, I'd say 90% of our team is that kind of athlete. The kind
We
of
have
people
to stop them from hurting themselves at meets because they'll be hurting and not tell us,
Yeah.
and then still try to push through it. And it's like,
freshmen.
Yeah,
That's where we have 60
Yeah.
freshmen come in and trying to do it. But it's great to have. I mean, it really is. It's like I said, it's one of the most fun years I've had in the last several years.
Nice.
And it's because the athletes take care of their business. They do the stuff they're supposed to do.
Now we talk about these meets. We talk about these big ones, the Division I, University of Arkansas and University of Oklahoma that we've been to. Are you guys playing just NJCAA guys, or are you guys all around the country, like Division I all the way down?
Well, that's the unique thing about track. We get to go against everybody. That first meet, the deer in the headlights was because we were at the University of Arkansas. It's one of the premier track programs in the country, and we raced Arkansas and professional athletes. I mean, it's not just to college. I mean,
Olympians were
we
there.
saw Olympians.
Really?
Yes, and we get to see that quite a bit. And then we go to OU. We're at another Division I level meet. Pitt State over here is a Division II school, but Pitt State, their program, their women won nationals in 2016 outdoor, and their indoor track facility is as good as it comes.
Really?
In the country, you could go anywhere, and we've been to all the big ones, and I can tell you that there's nothing better than that Pitt State facility. So we get to not only go against 4-year and post-collegiates, but we get to see some of the premier facilities in the country, and having Pitt State an hour away kind of helps.
and it's not like we're just a junior college that's there. We're competitive against those Division I teams.
Right.
Like, we'll go out in a 4x4 relay and maybe win, and that's against Division I, Division II schools. So we're very competitive even at that level.
Right. So how do you guys prepare your guys? Like, hey, you're going against Division I athletes. This is what you want to do one day. How do you prepare them for that?
I think it's a process. I think starting out, it's really tough for them. That's why it's kind of deer in the headlights at the first meet, and they feel like there's a lot of pressure. And that's where they get to, especially freshmen, they start trying to change things they've never done before. But before you know what they're kind of going through the process just like they would any other meet, and that's what we tell them is it's still track. I was talking to a girl yesterday that was struggling with her triple jump, and I said, in high school you just ran and jumped, and now you're overthinking things. You just need to get out there and jump. So competing against these top level athletes, it's no different. It's the same thing. It's such an individual sport. All you can do is control your race, your jump, your throw, and if you do those things, then you'll get the results you want.
Now, when you're at these meets and you have these Olympians that are there, are the kids kind of starstruck a little bit? Or are they kind of just like, hey, I want to beat?
It kind of depends on the kid.
Right, yeah.
Some of them are like, oh, I'm going to go beat that guy. Like, that guy ain't beating me. And others are like, look.
In the first meet, Jerry and Clausen was there, who's
Olympic long jumper. He's a
Olympic long
medalist,
jumper,
I believe.
And they took pictures. Some of our guys took pictures with him, so they notice. They for sure know that they're there. But some of the same guys that took pictures with them are some of the same ones that were winning meets there. We had a couple event winners at the University of Arkansas. So we're not walking to a place and people wondering who we are. maybe years ago, but now we walk into places, people know who Coffeyville is, and that's why we've been able to attract the athletes we have, is because the program we've put together.
Nice. Now, going forward, the next couple meets, what athletes, obviously besides the ones that we've already mentioned, what athletes do you guys expect to shine in each of your events?
I kind of mentioned Kamani Evans. Kamani's had a little bit of a Achilles strain, and so we're bringing her along slowly. I mean, I think she's still ranked 11th or 12th in the country in the 60 meters right now. Right. She's a top-level sprinter. Brad Alexander. Brad's coming along. He's a qualifier for nationals in the 200, a sophomore, great leader, someone that's really coming. I mean, when it's all said and done, we may have 6 or 7 girl throwers qualify for nationals by the end of this year. So that, like I said, a really talented group. The long jump, we have a few guys that, like Coach Reeves said, it's kind of overthinking it. Michael Hall Littlejohn, we think will be a guy that qualifies for national down the road. Quentin Poole will be a guy that qualifies for nationals down the road. So we still have some athletes that we expect some big things from. Actually, our 4x4 should be ranked number 3 in the country right now. We had probably the craziest thing that I'd ever seen in a track meet the other day. We were racing at Pitt State, and it was kind of jumbled in a handoff. Actually, Jermaine was handing off to one of our freshmen, Pat Rogers, and Pat, they crossed each other, and as they were crossing, Pat accidentally took the baton of the other team, and I've never seen this before. So we go on to either win or get second. We ran 3:13, the fastest 4x4 I've ever had indoors, and then we get DQ'd, of course. And so that team is someone to watch out for sure, because they're going to be something.
We still have a couple of 400 guys, I think, that are coming that are going to post some big times here pretty soon. As well. Sierra
Thurston, she's a transfer from Johnson County and is doing fantastic here. She's, I think she's ranked number 11 or so in the country, and she has a real good chance to be an All-American. Someone we haven't mentioned, a freshman we're really excited about, Julian Gillum. Julian is qualified in both the 400 and 600 for nationals right now. He's on that 4x4 we were talking about. It is really figuring out how to train like a college athlete and become a college athlete. And I mean, his hunger right now is very deep. Like he's going to be someone that I think down the road, not only an All-American, but he has national championship potential maybe as a sophomore. Someone we're really excited about. And he's actually more of an outdoor guy. He's a 400 hurdler, so to see what he's doing indoors is pretty impressive.
And how about for the throws?
Right now we've got 3 guys qualified in the weight, Miles in the shot. A couple of those guys still have a chance to qualify. On the women's side, Kayla Cook is starting to come along with the weight. When kids start hitting marks, what we call marks, qualifying marks, big marks, it gets the Division I coach's attention. I got up Sunday after she qualified for nationals, opened up my Facebook, and I had a message from an SEC school. And she's a freshman.
Right.
That's just how fast this works. When you start putting up marks, people notice. When people notice, they start getting, we're going to get on quick. I got 3 girls in the shot right now. All 3 girls haven't thrown as far as they should. Injuries here, sickness, things like that. But we'll be okay. The weight, I've got a couple more that should qualify. We should be maxed out on the throws on both sides by the time we go to nationals.
So a lot of things that we can look forward to, a lot more excitement and everything like that.
I hate to leave out Trent Harris in this. Trent, Trent's currently ranked 20. Coach Reeves looked this up the other day.
Trent Harris, they have age divisions that they do rankings in. The IAAF, the governing body internationally for track and field, and they have an under 18 division, an under 20 division, and then the senior division, which is everybody. Currently in the 60 meter dash, Trent Harris is ranked number 25 in the world under the age of 20. So he's definitely a talented sprinter. Works super hard, good kid. Definitely excited to see what he's going to do the rest of the indoor and outdoor, and then as we move into the rest of the season. So and
that's one thing that's different about our sport too. Our kids have a chance, if they're from another country or the U.S., to go make their national team and compete in the summer for their countries. We've had that happen before. We've had kids compete for Canada, Barbados, Bahamas, so Israel.
Right.
So that they went from here after training with us for a year back to their home country and competed for their home country as well, and then also eventually some have competed for the U.S. and things too. So
it's awesome having all those accolades afterwards as well.
It's so exciting here, and I mean, just us talking about it here, and I mean, so many of our athletes that are doing so well are freshmen. I mean, the future is so bright. I mean, we have sophomores that are doing fantastic, but if we bring in another solid recruiting class that we have this year, I mean, there's a chance for our team to be one of the best in the country. You know, and our goal is always top 10, top 5 finishes. You know, we've had 4 national trophies, and now leaving a national meet without one kind of feels empty because we kind of got used to that. And we want to get back to that level for sure.
Right, of course. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys stopping by and talking and you know, letting everyone know about, first off, the sport of track and field and about your athletes. I do encourage guys to go follow track and field on Twitter. It's at Seville Track XC. And then Coach Wood, he's always, you know, pretty dominant on the social media. It's at CCC Throws. Encourage everyone to go follow you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Until next time, guys, we'll see you.
See ya.
That was good.